two most important events in your life: a wedding and buying a house, right? Because a wedding, sometimes you spend way much money on the wedding. Sometimes some people spend 70K on a reception. Sometimes people spend 100K on a reception. I mean, it's all based on your preference, because that's a lot of money. That could be a house, girl. That's gonna be a down payment on a house, don't you think? Anyways, and then also buying a house, because even though you're getting a mortgage, but remember, you have over $300,000 to pay back, plus interest sometimes. Well, not sometimes, most of the time, interest as well. So unless you're buying it cash, you're like rich and you have, big money, and then you're like, you know what? Let me just put the 300,000 and I just buy my house and I'm good to go. Right? So these are the two events that are very important in somebody's life, because that's a lot of money that you're spending. Oh, and also a car. But then again, a car, that's nah. That's I would say that's petty money in some way, but then again, it's still an event as well. But I'm talking about huge events. A wedding is a huge event, because imagine you're going to DR, or you're going to Costa Rica, or you're going outside of the country to go get married. That's a lot of money that you got to spend, right? So when you're buying a house, it's very emotional, because you don't know what to do. You don't want people to scam you. You want people to give you the right information, to guide you the right way, to tell you, the right thing. You want somebody that you can trust, a realtor, a trusted lender, that will tell you from what it is, to start you from the process, from start to finish, to hold you by the hand. You know how, like, when you have a baby, you hold the baby, and after that they start crawling, then they start walking, you gotta hold their hands until they get older. It's the same thing when you're purchasing a home. You need somebody to guide you every step of the way, you know? So sometimes I when I say I dislike, I hate when people use other people's experience to judge you. Like, their experience was better. How come my experience is this? Their experience was worse. I want the same exact thing that they had. Remember, it all depends on the time that they did their process. Maybe they did their process 13 years ago. 13 years ago compared to now, 2025, everything has changed. It is not the same thing, right? So you can't compare somebody's progress or somebody's process on, their experiences to 13 years ago, because we're in 2025. Everything has changed. The market has changed. The people has changed. People were probably nicer back in the days. Now they're not, sometimes, right? Sometimes we look at some people, we're like, are you even human, right? But hey, this is the world we live in. We have to deal with it. We have to deal with it. So you cannot compare their experience to yours. Also, if somebody have a monthly payment on a mortgage of $800 a month, that doesn't mean that you're gonna get a $800 a month payment on your mortgage as well, because you don't know their situation. Their situation was different than yours. Maybe they didn't have no debts. Maybe they purchased their house when the houses was probably 200,000 back in the days, and the interest rate was super low. You don't know that. You cannot compare people's situation to yours. Everybody's journey is different. That's one thing I hate when people tell me, just this person had this person had that. Can you make that happen too? Well, how long ago did they get their mortgage? 13 years ago? Well, not really, honestly. 13 years ago was a long time. You understand what I'm saying? Now it's different. So think about your situation and think about their situation. They probably was lucky. Maybe you might be luckier. Maybe you want the same thing as theirs, and then you get something better. You understand? So it's a huge decision in your life. It's a big journey. That's probably the biggest purchase that you've ever gonna make in your life, is purchasing a home. Because remember, that's a big debt that you're taking. That's something that you can invest and live for your children, your great children, if you decide to have any. But stop comparing your situations to others. Just like the same way, somebody want a $30,000, $70,000 wedding. You probably just want the flea market wedding. You just go to the flea market, you're like, you know what? Let's say I do, we're married, sign the paper, and we're good to go. Somebody just probably want a flea market wedding. That's it. Not everybody wanted big luxury and everything, because at the end of the day, when you're getting a divorce, guess what happened? You got to go pay over thousands of dollars to get a divorce when you probably just paid $25 at the flea market or at the courthouse to get married, right? So stop comparing your situation to other. Everybody's different.